And they do look like little evergreen, like twigs or whatever.
And that's why that first frost was
such a hit.
Yeah, you felt like it was the evergreen on first snowfall.
Mm-hmm. But that was a different cocktail. This one is called the Continental Collins. Straight
from the Kentucky Owl website.
Which is very cool because that's what we used. The ounce and a half of bourbon that was the bourbon of choice.
Mm-hmm.
So you got this off of their website. What all can you tell me about it?
It's got the Kentucky Owl Confiscated bourbon. It's got lemon juice, freshly squeezed, some honey syrup, which I've always been a fan of ever since we used that for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
Such a fantastic sweetener. Muddled blackberries. And then the garnish is actually skewered with a rosemary sprig. And we've got 2 big, fat, plump blackberries skewered on a rosemary.
Delicious.
And shaken. And that shaker got really frosty.
Quick.
And our glass still has frost on it. Actually, your glass still has a ton of frost on the backside. Yeah. Well, on the backside over here.
You can kind of see it on yours, too.
Yeah.
I love seeing the remnants of the berry stuck to like the bottom of that ice cube there. Yeah, you can see it on mine too, I guess. Like caught in the club soda.
That's kind of cool too.
Yeah, it's cool looking.
All right, let's get to it.
Yeah,
let's do it.
Yes. Cheers,
Cheers, sir. That is light. That is refreshing.
Mm-hmm.
Can I get this in a extra large quick trip cup, please?
Yes. The old 74 ounce son of a bitch. I bet this would be really good with ginger beer.
I thought about that. So, because I have a ton of ginger beer upstairs. I also have some ginger ale upstairs.
Mm-hmm.
The recipe called for club soda, or topped with soda, is what it said, and that kind of took me on a. I got to the store to pick that up because I didn't have any soda, and my mind just kind of skipped a beat there for a second because I'm like, do I need club soda? Do I need tonic water? Do I need? There were like
7-Up.
There were like 3 different choices there, besides our ginger beers, ginger ale options, and so I was like,
those are beers, those are ales, those are not soda.
So club soda had the word soda in it, so I went with that. And actually, reading on the ingredients between club soda and tonic water seems to have some sweeteners in there, whereas your club soda really is more of just a carbonated water.
Okay.
So that's kind of why I landed on that. And looking at their picture, I feel like that is what they used in that because the pictures, it's a great looking photo, but it definitely is a lot. And I'm hesitating saying watered down.
It looks watered down to me.
But it looks very diluted compared to ours.
Yeah. Ours looks like it was made with something more than a color tinted, simple syrup. This was put together by actual fruit, and thought and deliberate deliciousness.
Maybe the difference is in the blackberries. You put in the ingredients for me to muddle 3 blackberries.
Yeah.
I wasn't fucking around. I picked 3 good-looking blackberries.
Yep, good-looking, plump, and dark.
Mm-hmm.
So this is good. This would be a definite contender for a batch, like a big-ass batch.
You think so?
That you could put in a pitcher.
No,
and
I see where you're going with that.
In the fridge or whatever before a party. Like day of, because you said citrus like lemon or whatever, it doesn't store well,
right?
In like a freezer door cocktail thing, right? But this would be great if you made like a
well, it'd be gone
syrup
before you had to worry about it.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, this is so like you said, light and refreshing. It's silly, and it makes a great picture.
I wish this wasn't bent, but
it's all right. Adds charm. And these sprigs, like you can cut and take off some of the bottom leaves here, stick them in some dirt, some rooting compound, rooting hormone, and you could grow an entire plant from that. Gardeners know this kind of shit.
You're kind of a big deal.
Do we know the history of the Collins cocktail?
Their recipe page doesn't really have a whole. It's a great page, and they've got a handful of. I would say 5 or 6 cocktails.
Kentucky Owl,
right?
Page.
The Kentucky Owl site. But outside of the ingredients and the how-to, they don't have a whole lot of information on there. So the short answer is no.
That's all right.
Yep.
So I just looked it up on the interwebs. I said I entered 3 words: Collins cocktail history, and it comes up here. The Tom Collins is a Collins cocktail made from gin, lemon juice, sugar, and carbonated water.
I knew that.
So you got the carbonated water right, the soda water. First memorialized in writing in 1876 by Jerry Thomas, quote, the father of American mixology. This gin and sparkling lemonade drink is typically served in a Collins glass over ice. So these are things, like you said, you already know.
Mm-hmm. Oh, man.
But
wait to see this one.
But, I mean, a cocktail from the 1800s?
And that's one of the things, as we're trying these bourbons and then we're deciding what to mix it up as, there's a lot of great cocktails out there. And as I'm kind of trying to decide on what makes the most amount of sense, I'm also balancing that with cocktails that we've already made versus ones we haven't made. And so as like in this case, when I got to Kentucky Owl's website and I'm looking through their cocktails, they had several that sounded really great. But when it came down to it, I was like, well, we haven't had anything like this. Mm-hmm. And so that was my inspiration for deciding on this cocktail over they had an old fashioned on there. They had a sour on there. Mm-hmm. They had a couple other things also. But yeah, this was something different that we do not have represented on our cocktail page. And even though the cocktail itself does not have rosemary in there, using that full sprig as the skewer for our garnish, you can't escape that rosemary on the nose.
Yeah, you can't escape it. You are a prisoner of the rosemary.
We seem to always, not always, but often make John Wick references, especially when we're talking about Blanton's. Mm-hmm. This is a Continental Collins.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
so, there you go.
Continental Hotel thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So we never have time to post the cocktails online and get feedback on these kind of things. But it would be really cool if we get to that point. We could just post it on our page and people could comment on what they think.
I think if I make this again, even though I don't mind it and I'm perfectly fine with it, I think I would double strain it just to clean it up a little bit.
You don't like the sediment?
I do.
Does
again, just for
take away on presentation for you?
Not necessarily. I mean, when you get down this low, a little bit maybe. Mm-hmm. I don't know.
I'm all for it. I like some pulp in my orange juice, so I'm good with it. I get some pulp, not full pulp, but some pulp to it keeps me fuller longer because it gives my gut something to digest. But that's inside baseball on weird workings within my mind. So when we dragged it over here, these cocktails, when we dragged these over here, they looked beautiful, and I think they still are. No, thank you. I was looking at what you have now. Now that it's been double soded, it's
a little bit closer.
It looks closer to what they have on their website. But yeah, we tried these. They're beautiful. Beautiful on the eyes and beautiful on the palate. But on the nose, it's also beautiful. I mean, on the nose, you could pick up everything. You could pick up the bourbon, the citrus, the berry, definitely the rosemary,
honey.
Yeah, the honey sweetness was on the nose, and all of those things were even more on the palate, and it all carried through to the finish. And it looks beautiful. So that's why I gave it pretty good marks here on my rating. On the nose, I gave it a 4.5.
I gave it a 4.5.
Look at us starting to agree on things. How about the palate?
I gave it a 4.25.
Okay, now we're drifting away immediately because I gave it 4.75.
I really debated on going a little bit higher. Yeah,
but you didn't. So you stuck with your first thought.
Yep,
that's all right. Not a bad thing. My grandma used to say, "An Irishman's first thought is his best thought." Finish 4.5.
I do not disagree with that. I gave my finish a 3.75.
Wow, you dipped below 4.
I did. I really don't know why. There's nothing wrong with the finish. There was just nothing there that just carried it on and beyond for me.
For me, the soda water did dry out any lingering taste on the finish, but I just figured that that's what this cocktail was about. It was supposed to be light, refreshing, bada bing, bada bam, bada boom, done. Hit it and quit it kind of thing. So, I don't know. I
completely agree.
I thought it did what it was supposed to do. Presentation, I gave it a 5. Now, I know you're your own worst critic, and you will not give it a 5. But
I gave it 4.75.
4.75 is not bad. What was your overall score?
8 5/8.
What is that, 6.25?
Yep.
So my final score was 9 3/8. We're still not far off from each other on the total score. Well, like I was saying before, we can't really post these on our socials or in the whiskey groups and expect to get any kind of quick feedback.
Yeah. It takes a minute.
It definitely does, because people are busy this time of day.
Half hour to an hour.
They could be eating. They could be binging their favorite Netflix thing. They could be trying to talk their woman into Netflix and chill, whatever. But so it's just easier, at least at this point in the podcast, to just do our own kind of assessment. Yeah. And so what I wrote down here for this cocktail, I said, a perfect candidate for a batch cocktail you can have on hand for your next get-together. Easy to make, easy to enjoy.
It was very easy to make.
Mm-hmm. We need to go back and find the cocktail difficulty level scale.
I was just thinking about that video. Yeah.
You went through...
I often think about that video, and...
all of the things that he said was a level 5, I think.
Well,
except the smoking, if that was even on there.
I think this cocktail is probably in the 3-ish range because of the muddling.
Yeah.
But yeah, we've done cocktails that they've been smoked. We've done the egg white.
Oh yeah, the egg white would have definitely bumped it up.
Yep.
But yeah, there was the cutting and the juicing of your own citrus, which is
we're also not poops.
We froze the Collins glass. That rhymes, doesn't it, Thirsty Whale?
Well, we're not an ass.
We're definitely not an ass. We froze the glass. One thing I started thinking about is we watch a lot of these Thirsty Whale videos, and he's always talking about adding a little saline to make it pop.
And
but
we have
never.
Yeah, we have not done that. We need to.
Yeah. I'm wondering.
I need to make
now
my
I'm
own
wondering
saline.
How well this would work with a little saline, or maybe even just a little bit of salt that gets muddled in with the berries or whatever. Mm-hmm. Something to think about.
Yep. What a great natural skewer.
Yeah. Who'd have thunk it that popping the leaves off of the sprig of rosemary would make such a great natural skewer for your blackberries, and it smells so good.
Yeah,
I've always loved the smell of rosemary. I love the smell of rosemary in the morning. Whoops. I try to go apocalypse now with it and drop my coaster. Well, thank you, dear listener, for listening to this bonus episode, this cocktail episode of the Savor the Burn podcast. We hope you enjoyed it as much as we did. Definitely look for the short or the reel, whatever it's called, on whatever platform you're following us on. which we definitely thank you for following us on Facebook, Twitter, X, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. Definitely keep this cocktail in mind for your summer get-togethers, because this is really good.
Spring and summer's coming,
and when spring and summer gets here, maybe even before then, I will try it with ginger beer or ginger ale. This might be better with a ginger ale, but I'm really partial to that Reed's extra ginger beer or whatever it was.
The great thing about maybe using a ginger ale is you're still going to get that ginger flavor, but it's going to keep it clear. And so the natural color of the blackberries.
Okay.
Ginger beer is kind of a...
Is it cloudy?
It's more of a tan beer color.
Okay.
I mean, it's definitely tannish orange, yellow, whereas the ginger ale is still crystal clear.
Yeah, it might get murky with the presentation, but it might not. But it might taste better, and that's kind of what I'm all about, is if it tastes good. My dad always said once you get past the smell, you got it licked. Family show. But yeah, so thank you. We hope you had fun. We had fun with it. And stay tuned, because we're going to have another one real soon featuring this Kentucky Owl straight bourbon whiskey. Thank you.